Hello, welcome to the third instructional video on the Sopko box it method. Um, here's what you've been doing a great job. I've noticed your scores are very high, and I've made this video specifically for some issues that you're still having. Okay, despite getting a little bit of instruction on it last week, you still had difficulty with it. So, first of all, we box our side of the equation with the variable, right? And then don't forget, we need to cover up the variable. And when we do that, we see a positive 5, and so we know we're going to subtract 5, right? Okay. Now the right-hand side becomes 18, and the left-hand side becomes a negative 3. Now, 3x, that is. One mistake that I know you're specifically making is you're not taking the sign. And so I'm instructing you to circle it. And everything in the circle moves down here. Okay, now we can cover up that variable if we need to. Just the variable part of it. Ooh, I lost my box. There we go. Oh, he must be behind everything. So let me bring him to the front. And there we go. And we can see, oops, he's a little too big. That's okay. We'll just do this. Control D. And we'll make him a little smaller. There we go. And so we can cover up the variable. And we've got a negative 3. And we know that we need to be dividing. So we're going to divide by negative 3 and divide by negative 3. And I'll move him back up there. And we will get x equal to negative 6. And there you go. All right, you can always check it. 5 minus 3 times negative 6. Well, these two negatives will make a positive. Turn this into 5 plus 18. And that will be 23. Okay. So let's box it for number 2. Bring our circle down and cover up. Oh, wrong one, excuse me. We're going to want that circle, just not yet. We're going to cover up this variable. And we see we have a positive 12. So we're going to subtract 12 from both sides. And when we do that, we will get 25 on the right-hand side. Now before we do the left-hand side, I'm going to uncover that, put that circle around, and I see the negative inside the circle, and so I will minus 5x, bring everything down. Okay, I'll use my smaller one to cover up the variable, and that's just not liking that. Order, bring to front. There we go. And I know it's multiplication, so I'm going to divide. I'm going to divide both sides by negative 5. And doing that will yield an answer of x equal to negative 5. Checking it off, 12 minus 5 times negative 5, which is 12 minus negative 25, which is the same as 12 plus 25, which is 37, and it checks as well. Okay, hold on one second here. Okay, 2 more examples for you. First of all, there's negative 8 minus 2x equals 40. And we're going to box the side of the equation with the variable. And we're going to cover up the variable. I see a negative 8, and so I'm going to add 8 to both sides. Right-hand side is pretty simple. Ends up being 48. Left-hand side looks like it will be, oh, I'm not sure yet. Hold on. Circle that variable. Negative 2x. That's the problem, is sometimes you're dropping the negative there. We don't want to do that. All right. Divide by negative 2. Divide by negative 2. x equals negative 24. There you go. Okay. If you were to check that, you get negative 8 plus, minus, 2 times negative 24. That'd be the same as negative 8 plus 48, which would equal positive 40. So it checks. Okay, so one more example. Negative 6 minus 9x. And we're going to cover up, we box, so now we're going to cover up our variable. And we see a negative 6, and so we're going to add 6 to both sides. That will yield a new equation. The right-hand side will be negative 54. Before I do the left-hand side, I'm going to get rid of my cover. And I'm going to circle the 9x with its sign. And so I'm going to bring down a minus 9x. All right, I see there's only one thing to do. I'm going to divide by negative 9, divide by negative 9. X is going to end up equaling negative 6. I want to check it. Negative 6 minus 9 times negative 6. Uh-oh, something's wrong. I have a sign error right here. It's a good thing I went to check, because this was going to get me a positive answer. A negative divided by negative is a positive, so it's a positive 6. All right, so I'm going to have negative 6 minus 54, which is negative 60. So it does check. Caught my own mistake, and I'm good to go. All right, tomorrow you get a little bit of practice with these kind of problems again, and then one more assessment the day after. All right, Mr. Lawrence signing off. See you tomorrow.